No, that's Robert's clock. That's the time he goes on.
But that's good, though, because then we'll always be on time.
That's true. Robert actually goes on Hawaii.
Yes.
Seizure with that.
All right, we're ready to roll there, Robert? Hey, for the people listening to us, you're here. You're at Full Contact Fanatics here on the Free Admission. I always call it the Free Admission channel. I don't know why, but that's just what comes to mind. Don't forget, you can always check us out at onthemat.com. Got some new content getting ready to come up there, so make sure you check that out. A lot of stuff from the, I was going to say EBI, but it wasn't EBI. It was the, what was the?
Fight to Win.
Fight to Win, which was here where our
Yes.
studio is. They got some content. Robert took a lot of pictures. He took a lot of videos
The
and
interviews,
stuff like that.
cool
Yeah,
interviews.
it was pretty cool. So they're going to try to start putting some stuff up there. Don't forget, you can also go to myluckygee.com. Check out the geese right there. Robert and I were talking before we went on the air, and he said somebody had the Miami Vice style gi. So he took some shots of that. So going to be checking that out real soon. So don't forget, you can go to myluckygee.com. As you can see, sitting to my left, Miguel. Sitting to my right is the Invisible Man. Donda was supposed to be here, but he had kids that needed to go home or whatever, so he took off.
Truth be told, he clogged the toilet.
Yeah, something was wrong, and then they said, well, Delo might come in and, sit in with us or whatever, but we're on the air, and he's not here yet. So if you hear a big ruckus, and
that means they got the toilet going.
No, if you hear a big ruckus and a lot of yelling and a lot of bags dropping on the ground, that means Delo's here. So just like last time when he was late and got mad at us and it was his fault, remember?
I remember.
You said 8:30 or whatever. So we'll see what happens. But big show. Got Ricardo, Big Dog, Almeida coming on. We told him about 8:05 so we can get him on. Want to talk to him about, the big change. Frankie Edgar was supposed to fight Max Holloway for the belt, and he got hurt. So they're going to put in Brian Ortega, which to me, I think is huge. I think that's going to be, even Dana, when he was on
that's going to be a killer fight,
on the UFC Tonight or whatever show that it is, he said that to me is going to be a fight to watch.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
And before we get into talking, other stuff, and before we get Ricardo on the line,
we can ask him too.
Exactly, and we talk a lot about that on the show. If you're a fighter and you're for lack of a better term, close or in that hunt or whatever, it would behoove you to stay within a few pounds of your weight. Because now that's a call you're waiting for.
Oh no, for
to
sure.
Get a call since Max Holloway got hurt, he's going to come in and fight Frankie Edgar. Now, that's no easy task. Yesterday they showed Frankie against Uriah Faber. They were showing a bunch of old ones, and I was watching that. And Uriah Faber's no joke, but Frankie is just, they say you can't teach heart or guts, because he just doesn't, he just keeps coming.
Yep.
He moves a good movement side to side, but he just keeps coming. And Uriah is similar, but he's moving so much, back and across that it was kind of more of like a stand-up boxing kickboxing type of fight.
Yeah.
So I definitely look forward to that. Now, that's what I want to ask him when he comes on. Now, you're training for Max Holloway, more of a stand-up guy. Not that he can't go to the ground, but he's looking to take your head off.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like Brian Ortega knows that he's got his jiu-jitsu there, so he's been standing up a lot more. And it
definitely makes it a much more,
And nothing for nothing, it seems like when he wants to take it to the ground, it's
he gets it there,
Yeah.
He gets it there.
Yeah, so
for sure.
In Ricardo Almeida being Frankie's jiu-jitsu coach, I wonder if the game plan changes and say, look, let's work on this or let's do that. So we'll ask him straight from himself. It's 8:05 here, so it's actually 11:05 out there I was going to say Toms River, New Jersey, but that's where Frankie's from. So hopefully he'll be calling him real quick. I think I see him on the line right now. Can you hear us?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Oh, good.
Can you hear me?
Real quick, for the people listening to us, you're here. You're at Full Contact Fanatics with Favi Chulo. I got Miguel over here on my left. And on the line with us right now, as you can see, Big Dog Ricardo Almeida. How are you, my friend? I haven't talked to you in such a long time.
Very good, man. Very good. You guys are keeping me up late, but I'm very good.
No, I told him that. I said that's why, because the show comes on. I've had Ricardo on my other radio show, which was on at 7, so there was 10 o'clock for them. But this one comes on at 8. So I said we got to get him on first because it's going to be late out there. But real quick before, got so much to talk about, but the one thing I miss is I got to see Ricardo in person when they had the first Jiu-Jitsu expo out here. Henzo and him came down and all that. And that was the first time I got to see him in person and see he didn't do so much of a seminar, but was helping out and doing some stuff, and it really brought the essence of Jiu-Jitsu. You know what I mean? It was great. So, real quick before we get into talking about Frankie and them, do you know if Henzo and them have any plans of bringing that back?
Yeah, I don't know. Henzo is like super busy. He's like the jiu-jitsu godfather. He's like he's everywhere. When I talk to him on WhatsApp, one moment he's in Abu Dhabi, the next one he's in Europe, next thing I know he's in Brazil, next thing I know he's here in Jersey. So yeah, he's super busy. But if there's an opportunity, I'm sure he'll put something together.
Of course. Well, I don't know if you remember that day because it was a while back, but he said he'd come and do our show on the mat. But he literally, it took him almost an hour and a half to walk from the front to the back where we were, because he would have to stop every few feet, sign autographs, take pictures and all that. I mean, it was amazing that we even got him. But anyways, Ricardo, hey, first thing I want to talk about is, big fight with Frankie. He was getting ready for Max Holloway for the big title match and all that. Which happens a lot. Max Holloway gets hurt. They're putting Brian Ortega in there, and we were talking a little bit about that before you came on. That's a almost like two totally different fighters, But Brian Ortega's now trying to keep it up on the feet. I don't think he's going to try to keep it on the feet too long with Frankie, because Frankie's boxing is so good. So I'm pretty sure it's going to go to the ground. Do you change up the training at all anyway since they change opponents, or everything just kind of stays the same?
I think in MMA you try to focus on the things that you have control of. Frankie first had like a devastating injury. He had to pull out of the original Max Holloway fight, and we weren't really sure if he was gonna still get the fight, and he still got it. And now Max is hurt, and so grateful that Ortega stepped up in such a short notice to fight somebody like Frankie. But MMA, it's like you prepare and you have your own like game plan, but it's just technique versus technique. I think at the end of the day, a guy like Frankie, he could beat any different guy on any number of different ways. It's just figuring out, where the other person is strong, what that person does over and over. Like we watch a ton of video. When I watch video, I don't really look for mistakes. Like you may look at a guy like Ortega and be like, hey, maybe after his jab, he drops his left hand. Let's take advantage of that. But I don't necessarily look at the mistakes. I'll even look at things such as like his incredible arm triangle. And his guillotine, and of course his jiu-jitsu. It's still a pattern. It's still something that he's going to do over and over, and it's still an opportunity for Frankie to take advantage of it, even though it's his strengths.
Right. I agree. I agree 100%. But we were talking too a lot about that before we came on the air. That you can't teach heart. And Frankie, man, that dude just does not take a back step. He's constantly coming forward, moving side to side. So he actually, if Ortega wants to try to close that distance, which isn't that easy. So we definitely look forward to that fight. Now yourself, it's funny because I'm writing some stuff down. I'm checking out your Facebook and stuff like that. And you got so much going on with your academy and all that. But do you ever get that itch? You ever get that bug to maybe get back in the cage at some time or something like that? To you, I wouldn't think it would be because you got so much going on with your academy. But does it ever, every once in a while, say, man, if I could get back in that cage one more time, I something just kind of hit you and just put that in your head?
Yeah, and if they had a Masters division in the UFC, no. Listen, I'm realistic. I'm in the room with these guys week in and week out, and I see the way they train, and I have to be honest with myself. Like my body I could no longer train like that and do some of the things that I like. It's people don't realize the type of punishment and the type of sacrifice that it takes to be, like a top 5 fighter in the UFC, like a top 5, top 10 fighter in the UFC, and my body is just, I can no longer withstand that, and I did it at one point, and I'm happy that I did it, and I gave it my all, I gave it my best, and that's it. Like I don't feel I need to go back there. Right now, my time is best served, helping the guys out.
Yeah, and because you're in the gym every day, rolling and all that. So, and as you could see him on the picture, still in good shape. What about jiu-jitsu competition? You still, maybe want to put the gi back on and hit the IBJJF or anything like that? Do you still work towards that, or do you have so much going on with the academy still kind of on the back burner?
Man, since I stopped fighting, I think I've done a major IBJJF tournament every year. I think I won the Nogi Pan Ams in 2012, the Nogi Worlds 2013 as masters. Like the old men's division. But and then last year I did the last year and the year before I did Nogi Pans. Like I always do the masters division. It's for guys like me that teach class all day and train hard like 2-3 times a week. Mm-hmm. You go in there, you have fun, and it's fun, But yeah, I did actually Fight to Win, which is an awesome event for guys that like jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Like submission oriented, and they put on the lights, and it felt a little bit like being the UFC. Frankie, Eddie, all the guys, Marlon, all the guys came down to corner me. It was really cool. So I'm always trying to be active. But whenever the guys have big fights, whenever I have something big going on, I'm moving my New Jersey gym in the summer. So right now, like a lot of my focus is going towards that. So I'm probably not going to compete until the second half of the year.
Yeah, but it's good though. Keeps you going. You know what I mean? Since he's training.
Sure.
Now, real quick before we continue on, for the people listeners, you're here. You have Full Contact Fanatics with myself and Miguel, and we got Ricardo Big Dog Almeida on the line with us right now. Now, I was looking at everything, and there was a quote that was on your Facebook that said, "When guys play half guard in MMA, a beating will soon commence." Or whatever. Now, can you explain a little bit about that? I mean, a lot of guys drop down and they kind of trying to hold on tight or whatever. But I haven't really seen too many people try to play the half guard or whatever in MMA. But can you tell us a little bit what you mean by that?
Man, Hansel. I used to play a lot of half guard when I competed. And Hansel used to always yell at me like, "Man, like the day that you get punched in the face, you're never gonna play half guard again." And Hansel's quote is like, "The problem with the half guard is that it's only a half a guard." Like in MMA, you cannot control. Go into a little bit more into the technique aspect of it. Like usually when you have the half guard comes with an underhook. With that underhook, you can't really control your opponent's posture. Because you have your legs crossed, like you can't really control the space between you and your opponent. So the guy could do a lot of damage, especially in a rule setting, which is the universal rules, that you could drop elbows, but you cannot do up kicks.
Yeah.
And it makes the fighter on the bottom extremely vulnerable. I literally, even though I use like half guard and deep half guard, to sweep guys, when I was competing, for MMA just doesn't work. It's just recognizing that, and just my own personal experience, I forbid my guys to play half guard unless it's like a transitional situation. Other than that, no. Like I see too many Brazilian jiu-jitsu coaches, because the half guard is such a strong guard in competitive jiu-jitsu.
Right.
They try to make the fighters do that, and usually, what happens Saturday night? Someone gets ground and pounded and eventually stops. It's really like the worst guard in MMA.
Yeah, and it's a big difference when you could throw those elbows, because those will split you open
for sure.
real quick. Well, anyways, before we let you go, because I know it's late out there, you got to tell me. Now, I've seen Ralph Gracie in person twice, and that is the epitome of intensity. So I know he came and did a seminar not too long ago at your place. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Man, Ralph is the scariest dude in the world. That's really like, there's no better way to describe him. He's so scary, but I've always had like a really good relationship. I first got close with him when I first moved to the U.S. He came and spent some time at Hansel's home, and we were like sharing rooms and talking, and of course I was starstruck, just kind of hanging out with Ralph, and Ralph first came in one day. We were driving down, like Holmdel, New Jersey, which is like a really fancy area, and Ralph sees a bunch of like geese, and he asks Hansel, "Can we come back later at night and can we hunt these geese?" And Hansel looks at him like, "Man, how?" And I'm sleeping in the room with Ralph, and I'm thinking, man, this guy's gonna ask me to go get the geese in the middle of the night, and I'm not gonna be able to say no. I'm gonna end up in jail,
That's
cool. Ralph's jiu-jitsu is amazing. He fought at a time where there were no rules, no gloves, no weight classes, and his knowledge of jiu-jitsu is, I guess the best way to describe it is just violent. Like every technique that he does, it would be like if it was Mortal Kombat, it would be like a fatality. It's like your arm is getting torn off your shoulder, or freaking your leg is getting broken in half. It's always something like extremely painful. I could see the students, grimacing and, in a lot of pain when they were doing the moves, but they all had an incredible time to spend the time with someone that, dedicated their entire lives to jiu-jitsu. It's pretty special, like no matter how good I ever get, I didn't spend my whole life doing this. So when I'm around these guys, like I really just kind of bow my head and I listen to what they have to say.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I don't think, if you're talking about Mortal Kombat, I don't think he'll stop. Broken arms, like he's just going to keep going.
He'll keep going.
Or
For
whatever,
sure.
because that's how he is. Well, anyways, Ricardo, a million thank yous for coming on, man. We definitely look forward to that big fight with Frankie Edgar and Brian Ortega. That's going to be huge and continued success. We've been, I was on the other show and we were trying to get some sponsors so we can get out there to the East Coast to check out, all the jiu-jitsu places out there. That's what we're working on now since I moved over here to Full Contact Fanatics, and that's the goal, man. I want to go out there to Jersey and all that and check out places like that, like Ricardo Almeida's place. So for sure, man, we look forward to it. Real quick for the people listening to us on Full Contact Fanatics, if you get a DVD called The Smashing Machine, you'll see Renzo's. There's a little just short documentary of Renzo, and you see a young Ricardo Almeida, and I mean just in good shape and everything. And he's watching Renzo, and you see him go. Do you see him flip him like that? It's a whole thing. You got to check that out. This is awesome. I think it's like the 10 or 15 year anniversary or something, so you could check that out. So hey, definitely look forward to hopefully coming out there. And if not, when you come out this way, hopefully there'll be another Jiu-Jitsu Expo and we can get you live on Full Contact Fanatics. Okay, my friend.
Absolutely, man. I don't know how, out of all the places in the United States, I ended up in Jersey, but I love it here. I love the people.
Yeah.
You got, from Renzo first being here, we have amazing freaking MMA fighters. You got Frankie Edgar, got, Eddie Alvarez and all these guys here in the New York area. Weidman, and the jiu-jitsu is out of this world too. So if you guys come down, of course, you're going to have many places to visit. And of course, you're welcome to come to my place,
Awesome.
your house.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, for sure.
Absolutely. We definitely look forward to it. Again, a million thank yous for coming on with us. For the people listening to us, don't forget Ricardo Big Dog Almeida. You could just put him in your little search engine. He keeps everybody up to date on the social media and everything like that. So again, my friend, a million thank yous for coming on. We'll talk to you real soon. All right, my friend?
Thank you, guys.
All right, you got it.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
How about that, huh?
Wow.
Ricardo Almeida.
That's cool, man. And I'm sure he's got tons of stories to tell.
Oh, of course, man. It's funny because when they had the first Jiu-Jitsu Expo, I think we had him on either the Wednesday before or the Wednesday before that weekend when they came on. And I told him, I said, we're going to be there, dude. We'll come and see you. We'll talk to you. But he had never seen two fat Mexicans.
What's these?
So when he saw us, I'm like, hey, dude, I go, it's me, Fabiano. He goes, oh, hey, what's up, man? He goes, oh, is this your friend? Oh, yeah. And we start talking, and he's like, hey, man, we need to go out for some Mexican food and all that. And then when Renzo came, and they were all there, the same thing. Hey, we got to go out, dude. Let's go eat some Mexican food. I'm like, heck yeah, man. But, dude, it was like Renzo came in, and it was like, whoosh, just
of course,
completely packed or whatever. If you go on blogtalkradio.com and you put in on the mat radio, I think it is, you'll see there's 3 episodes of the first Jiu-Jitsu Expo that came on, and we got everybody. We got Renzo, and it took us forever to get him on there because there was so many. He would have to stop every few feet to sign autographs and stuff, but we finally got him on, and we had such a good time. It was amazing. We got him, we had Kenny Johnson, we had Ed Soares, we had George Guimares, we had Rafael Lovato Jr., Drysdale. I mean, a ton of people came on because it was packed, and that's when Nate Diaz got in a fight with ¿cómo se llama este? Renato Laranja. Or whatever. Dude, because they had, I don't know if I think I told you, might have told this story, I told 1,000 times on my other show. They had Renato doing a signing. And then remember, Nick Diaz was supposed to go against Buchecha in the super fight
and he didn't show up or something
and
like
he
that,
didn't show
right?
up. So Nate was in the Metal Militia booth for probably at least an hour and a half, close to 2 hours of just signing. Then he was supposed to come over and sign with us at On the Mat. So he comes over, and Scotty has all his pictures and everything out, and he's got his Sharpies and everything ready to go. So he walks over, and he says, hey, man, you ready? He goes, hey, man. He goes, I've been signing for like 2 hours straight. He goes, can I just take some time to relax for a minute? And he says, yeah, no problem. So he goes, and he goes and sits up in the stands and watches a little bit of the jiu-jitsu tournament or whatever for about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Comes back down. He says, okay, so by that time, the line was way in the heck down there. So him and Laranja are signing, and there was like a tarp or whatever, and we were on the other side doing the live broadcast. So when people start, you can tell when it's a real fight and it's a play fight. And I'm listening, and he starts dropping the N-bomb or whatever, and I go, so something ain't right, man. So I go around the thing, and then there he is, dude. Like, what's up, punk? And 209 or wherever they're from or whatever. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. So he goes, he was gonna hit him, and some other dude I don't even know stepped in on this side and got him. And Laranja came out of character and everything. He goes, dude, what is this guy's problem? So I grabbed Nate and I go, dude, you take it easy, bro. He goes, no, man, F that. I'm like, so Scotty comes over and he goes, you know what? He goes, go over there right now. He goes, go take him over there. So, I didn't grab him and pull. I just kind of like had him and we started walking over there. And I'm like, dude, man, take it easy. And he's like, no, man, F that. Forget that punk and all that. And he goes, you know what? I'm going home. And he only signed like maybe 8 or 9 autographs, dude.
And then there's a line of waiting for him, too? Wow.
Waiting. And kids.
Yeah, of course.
And everything, so.
The kids don't need to see that either,
he goes, So Scotty goes, you know what then, dude? Just go ahead and go. So he starts to walk, and Laranja's over here, and he goes right after him again. So I grabbed him again, dude. This time I grabbed him around the waist, and I had him like this, like, dude, and he's by himself. Nobody with him, his brother, nothing like that. So finally, I let him go. He starts to walk off and just, N-bomb this and 209 or wherever they're from and screaming all the way. And I'm like, dude, this dude is the real deal. It's no act. He's just a straight, what's the word I'm looking for? Not knucklehead, because I don't want to start swinging on me. But that, too, we went to. It was so crowded on the bottom that when Scotty came and said, if you guys want to take an hour to go to lunch, we'll watch your equipment and everything. But it was so packed, we said, well, we'll go outside. So we went up to the second floor to use the restroom because it was so crowded down there. And he's in line. He gets in line for the restroom, and I'm washing my hands. And I turn around and I see him and go, hey, man, what's up? And he goes,
what's up?
What's up, man? What's up? And I'm like, nah, man, I'm Faviano from OTM, dude. He goes, oh, all right, man, what's up, man? Yeah. And I'm like, you're going to be with us. So he's just like constantly on guard and by himself. No, I don't know if somebody dropped him off or whatever. But anyways, to wrap it up, after all that went down, this guy came up to me, older guy, and he goes, hey, man, he goes, what's up with that dude? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, my daughter's 11 years old, man, and she's a big UFC fan and Diaz brothers, and he's dropping the N-bomb. And I go, dude, I'm sorry, I can't control him or whatever. That's just him. So you just kind of got to be careful of what you do because, I'm sure they don't care, but, that little girl who was a fan, that's what she saw when she meets him in person. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful with that. But I don't know, man. It was just funny to see Laranja come out of character and go, dude, what's this dude's problem? And then it goes back.
Because he's hardly ever out of character.
So. He's always like that or whatever. And funny as heck, dude. We interviewed him at Chad George's place and was real cool. So anyways, that's just a story about if you get a chance, check those out because we had a lot of people on that. I don't know. I guess it costs a lot of money. Well, first of all, we did the show, and you can only use their electricity. You can't use, there was literally a socket right there, and we weren't allowed to use it. They had to drop it from the ceiling, and it was union, and they wanted to charge us $150 for electricity. So Sergio, myself, and Scotty had to go 3 ways, $50 a piece just to get electricity.
Wow.
They wanted $50 to use a table if you didn't bring your table. God. And then they wanted another $50 for internet access. So it's like we brought our own tables, and Scotty bought one of them things that you plug in the side to do it. So we were able. So we got away cheap.
Pay for internet.
We got away cheap for $150. But that's maybe that might be the reason why nobody wanted to go back over there or whatever. But it was cool. First time I got to see Rafael Lovato Jr. in person. Somebody didn't show up, and he did a seminar. And then he competed too, and it's just dude is just nails, man. Wow. Awesome.
Okay.
So we definitely look forward to hopefully that comes out again. So real quick before we continue on, don't forget you're here. You have Full Contact Fanatics on the free admission channel. Got Miguel over to my left here. Right seat is empty because Dondo had to take off. No Aaron Murro, Delo, nothing like that. So we're just gonna take it from here.
Let's do it.
But real quick now, I'm sorry. What's your wife's name? Jennifer?
Jessica.
Jessica. How close was I? Robert, is she on mic at all?
She actually gets that all the time.
We didn't put her on mic. Well, she's she's sitting in the producer's chair, and we usually like to go every once in a while to get some thoughts or whatever. But she doesn't want to be on mic, and definitely doesn't want to be on camera, right? so because that could be our third person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could talk about living.
Or
with
she could run the booth, and Robert can get on here.
Yeah, living with the jiu-jitsu / MMA King of the Cage future legends fighter or whatever. But anyways, we'll do some news first before we get into talking about Yoel Romero and them. But actually we should probably go with that first because he's a lot in the news. Now, Yoel Romero defeated Luke Rockhold, knocked him out in was it the second round that he knocked him out?
Third round, yep.
Now, did you see any of the countdown or anything leading up to the fight?
I actually didn't. I tried to go back and catch up. I wasn't able to.
Well, first of all, it was on Saturday, and my wife, she went with my sister-in-law and all them. They took off and they went to 80s clubs and all that stuff. So I had the whole day. So I was watching a lot of the YouTube, checking out Yoel. Dude, when he was an Olympic athlete, that dude was nails, man. I mean, quicker than quick. He would get that ankle pick so quick and going against the Russians and all that. And then they showed him training, and his training is just ridiculous. It's like a fresh guy every 3 minutes, and he's just going and going and going. So I talk a lot about that wrestler's mentality. And I know on this show, I've said a couple of times that I think he's a little dirty. He doesn't, because he gassed in a couple of fights, and then he kind of stayed on the stool, and they threw ice on the floor so that they could wipe it up and get a little bit more time. All that being said, he's a bad dude, man. I mean, to be in his early 40s.
I was just about to say, the fact that he's 40,
like that, to go in the cage, do a maroma, and then do a backflip, I'm like, dude, that dude is like a miracle of modern science or whatever. But I give it to, that's all he knows. He's been doing that since he was a kid and just completely training, and that's all he's been doing all his life. So it rolled over into his UFC. And I think, answer me this question. It seems to me it takes a while for you to get acclimated to MMA. He's got a wrestling background. His stand-up wasn't that good. It seems like his stand-up is starting to come around. You know, not that he didn't have it before, because he's even finished a few people with knees. But is it me, or does it seem like that stand-up is starting to come around?
To be honest, I always thought it was
substitute for power.
Oh no, for sure. But I always thought his stand-up was pretty crisp. You know, has it improved? I have seen. Oh my God! I mean, he's definitely on a different level. You know,
and then when he hits you.
Oh, it's over.
It's a lot of power. Yeah. Robert, would you agree on that with that he's improving, or you think it's always already been there?
No, he's improving. I think it's more of his energy management that he's
lacking,
or actually working on.
Because if you could drag him into that, especially that fifth round, you know, you might stand a chance. You know what I mean?
I agree with that, because even when me and Dondo were watching the fights, we were kind of talking about that. We're like, oh, the third round's coming up, you know, and that's usually when he starts to slow down.
It's either do or die.
Yeah, and he didn't see. He actually kind of kept a pretty even pace, you know.
Yeah, I think it. Well, I'm sorry, I forgot to say Robert's here, the producer, of course. Without him, none of this would be possible, bringing us in and out and everything, taking care of us. Now, it seems, you know, Robert, do you know how long he had? Because I know he got called at the last minute. Did he have a good 4 weeks or so?
If a fight counts 8, he had 6, I believe.
Okay,
he was too short.
6 weeks, I think he could have made that weight. Now, first of all, did you guys see the weigh-ins?
Yes, I caught a piece of it.
Was there a big difference? Is there, or is there not a big difference when they do an actual weigh-in instead of doing that stupid face-off weigh-in and weighing him in the morning?
Yeah, because you'll actually see him like crawling his way up.
To me, it's a whole it's a whole thing, because they're depleted.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
They go, he's a quarter pound. We're gonna drop the drawers, and all the ring girls take off.
Yeah,
and everything. And you know, and they're really, you could tell it's a big difference. I personally like that. I think the weigh-in in the morning is dumb, and then you come and do that's stupid. So he weighs in at 188 pounds for a 185 pound fight. Goes to go. They give you 2 hours, I think.
I believe it's 2 hours.
To drop that.
To drop.
He had to be 185 because it was a title fight.
Yep.
He comes back at 187 and a half.
Yeah.
So, Robert, what do you think, man? You think he shot himself in the foot? I think with 4 weeks might have been enough for him to make that weight.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, like, what he was doing.
It goes back to what you had mentioned earlier about, when those opportunities come out, you stay ready. You stay ready. You ain't got to get ready.
And dude, if that's not a perfect example, he'd be the interim champ right now.
Oh, for sure.
If he wouldn't have done it. Now, Robert, back when you were training and you were getting ready for Frank Mir, back in the day, did you have problems like that?
always.
Yeah, see what I mean? So he knows what's up. Well, you know, he could be walking around with that belt right now, but he knocked him out. He's gonna go. What's his name? Robert Whitaker or whatever. They're gonna set that up. That was probably the most boring fight I've ever seen when they fought the first time. So I think we might see a different Yoel Romero, though. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's got to figure out how to.
Well, take out the fact that he's a Samoano and, you know, that's it's the same or whatever. Take that out and just put in that he's the champ and he's going against Yoel Romero.
Yeah, I mean, Yoel's going to have to probably be a little bit more active in a different way because Whitaker is going to pressure the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He went after Yoel after busting his knee, right, or something in the first round, and he just kept coming. So Yoel's going to have to figure out how to stall him or at least clinch him.
The first 2 rounds of this fight against Rockhold were...
He said he thought he broke his leg because he was taking some serious hard kicks. But
oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
But don't you think that if Yoel would I mean, why wouldn't they his people tell him, dude, throw 1 or 2 punches, close that distance, and get him to the ground, dude? I mean, it's not like he doesn't have wrestling. And you get that big dude on top of you, you're going to be struggling to get that dude off. So it seems like he should take him down and, you know, try to pass the guard and maybe put some weight on him.
Yeah, mix it up to a point.
Because isn't that what you did when you went against Henzo and Pride back in the day?
No, it wasn't Henzo. It was Fedor, but it was it was non-televised.
Yeah, and Coleman didn't want to fight you because he saw what you did to him or whatever.
Yeah, because it wasn't just Coleman. It was what's that other guy's name? The Smashing Machine.
Mark Kerr.
Yeah, Mark Kerr.
I talked to Mark Kerr, and that fight right there pretty much sent him into retirement because he saw that. So, I mean, to me, I'm like, dude, what? It's there, dude. Yeah. Close the distance. That's what Chael does. You know, get him to the ground if it's there. Ben Askren, those guys, they're not going to waste time throwing punches. Go ahead.
I've never actually seen Romero actually do any jiu-jitsu, though.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
I see him clock riding.
Are there any Cuban jiu-jitsu coaches that I'm unaware of? Or
I mean, jiu-jitsu's worldwide, dude. It's everywhere.
Well, I'm just saying, maybe he's just not that confident in at least that.
Laborio is there, and he speaks Spanish. So no problem. And then they had the other guy, the guy that comes out with him that keeps his hair in a little bun or whatever. That dude's a black belt too, and they were showing both of them working with him on jiu-jitsu techniques and stuff. But it's true though. Yomel was just like throwing him off, or whatever. Yeah. So who knows? Go ahead.
But funny thing, you brought up Ben Askren. By any chance, did you?
Funny, we're professional here.
Did you see Ben Askren's video?
Which video?
The music video, the one he did the Adele cover.
No.
Dude, you guys gotta find it.
What is it, on YouTube?
I don't know where.
Just pull up Ben Askren.
Dude, Ben Askren sings like Adele "Hello."
Oh my god,
it's hilarious.
I'm gonna check that out. But anyways, I think he should. I think he should close the distance and just. I think he could definitely do damage with that.
For sure.
So we definitely look forward to that. Now, in the news, when they talked to Luke Rockhold after the fight, he said that dude is made of steel. He said I hit that dude with everything I had, and it seemed like I was hitting like a wall, or whatever. He said so. Now Rockhold says he thinks he's gonna make the move up to light heavyweight.
Oh, dude.
So what do you think, man? If he goes up to light heavyweight, you think he could do some damage up there? Go ahead, Robert.
Luke Rockhold at light heavyweight.
Yeah, because who else? I mean, there's Bones Jones. And who else?
That dude's out for a while.
Yeah, and who else is at 205? Cormier is going to move up to heavyweight. So who are we looking at?
I don't know, but
I think it would be a good move for him, dude. I think he could do some damage up there.
Pull up and see who's up there.
If you get a chance, pull up 205 because the only ones that come to mind right now are Cormier, who's moving up to heavyweight, Jones, who just wants to do drugs and party. Who else is there at 205?
I don't blame him. If I had his money, I'd do the same thing too.
I agree 100%. So we'll see what happens with him. But anyways, that's what I was thinking right there. When Luke Rockhold says that he was hitting the dude as hard as he could, it seemed like it was hitting a brick wall. That's saying something.
I mean, just the dude's appearance in general. You know what I mean? I mean, he's got those Cuban Mexican
He's a beast,
supplements.
Exactly.
Who knows? That's probably why he can't make weight either. Anyways, go ahead.
I'll read off
I think it's
the top 10. Okay, the top 10. You got Patrick Cummings. You got Latifi, Corey Anderson, Serkinov.
Who?
Corey Anderson? I think he's one of Ricardo's guys, right?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Then you got Misha, whatever.
Misha Tate?
No, Misha Serkinov.
Oh, okay.
Then you got Mauricio Shogun Hua, of course, at number 6. Oh, you got OSP. You got what is that poster boy? Jimmy Manuwa.
Yeah.
Yep. Then you got Ozdemir.
Uh-huh.
And then you got Glover, and then Gustafson.
Okay. So I mean, not that that's not but it seems like if he moves to that division, put him up against Ovis St. Preux or whatever his name is or whatever. See what they can do. Because the other guy Tuivasa or whatever you said, that guy hits a little too hard.
Tuivasa is a heavyweight, wasn't he?
Or who'd you say? Who'd you say? Was it Tuivasa or who'd you say was the Samoano?
Oh no, they don't have a Samoano. Oh, they don't have a Samoano in here.
Who'd he say?
Oh, Tyson Pedro actually.
Oh, Robert
Whitaker.
Okay.
He's he says light heavyweight.
Yeah, I thought you said there was a Samoano in there.
No, I don't think there's one in there.
Okay. I mean Tyson Pedro.
Well, yeah,
he's a light heavyweight.
He looked good.
Giant, dude.
He looked good, but against Luke Rockhold, who's got some experience, it might be a different story.
Yeah, I'm just worried about Luke Rockhold's size. That's all I'm worried about. I mean, his
there's
size.
specific supplements that he can take that'll get him to where he needs to get.
You think he's too small?
Yeah, if you take a look at the way
the dude's freaking tall as
he can get there.
He's like 6'2", 6'3", right? About 6'3".
No, he's up like 6'4".
Dude, he's tall.
Yeah, he's a big dude. So you know what? I'll tell you what. Is it Javi Mendez who's his trainer? I have his number. Let's give him a call. We'll get him on here and get his take on that. How about that?
Actually, I saw Henry Hoof in his corner.
You're right.
Bob Cook was in his corner
Crazy
too.
Bob Cook, yeah.
And I think Javier Mendez too, but
quick story.
I know Hoof was in his
Crazy
corner.
Bob Cook. I was coming back from King of the Cage. It was one of those where I had to stay at the cage till almost about 1 o'clock in the morning to get paid, to get a check. So the shuttle was leaving at 3 in the morning because we had to catch a flight at 6, and we had to take the shuttle and all the cameramen. So I just went, I changed, got in the shuttle, and dude, you want to talk about? I mean, I was feeling sorry for the people that were sitting next to me in the plane because I didn't have no cologne, no deodorant, or nothing, man. I mean, I was rough. I was actually sitting by myself waiting for the plane. The other 2 cameramen couldn't even sit with me, and I see Crazy Bob Cook. Hey, what's up, man? And I walk over there. What's going on, dude? Yeah, I went for King of the Cage, and we're talking on. And I could see in his face, he was looking like, this motherfucker stinks to they got that look like because they're listening to you, but they're looking at you like, God damn, this is unhygienic. I'm looking. I go, dude, I'm sorry, man. So we've been up all night, bro, and we're this nigga.
It's the swamp bass.
He goes, I understand. And I go, what? Dude, I want to get a picture, but I won't get too close. And he's like, "No, man, it's cool. So he was cool, but I know when I left, he was like, "Thank God this guy's gone or whatever." But hey, if not, I wouldn't have got the picture. So I got to do what I got to do.
Man, I don't think those guys are tripping. Come on, you know what a dojo smells like,
especially weigh-in day or when they're getting ready for weigh-ins. Dude, I've been to many, and the BO and farts is ridiculous or whatever. So you get used to it. Wrestling too with the kids from wrestling, it's ridiculous.
And then you add
those are kids, and they're still like in the peak of puberty.
Yeah,
so
and
they
then they make weight
10 times more.
Chicken and waffles and get in the van is ridiculous. Go ahead.
Just don't give Dondo Costco yogurt before that frozen yogurt before you go in the cage.
Realize that he's lactose intolerant.
That's the reason he's not with us this evening is because all truth be told, he clogged the bathroom. He really did. And now
well, we're just glad
they're holding him accountable to it because
yes. Well, we look forward to see what the future holds for Luke Rockhold and Yoel Romero. We'll see what happens with them now. I don't know if you guys saw the Curtis Blades Mark Hunt fight.
Oh, dude.
It was almost exactly the way I thought it was going to go. Mark Hunt was hitting him, to his credit, Curtis Blades, standing up to that because he took some shots, dude. And I
especially in the first round.
I thought, this is over. Dude, this guy has no idea what he got into.
I said that too.
To his corner's credit or whatever, he did what he needed to do. He closed that distance. He got him to the ground. He pounded him out. He won those last 2 rounds and won the fight. He did exactly what he needed to do. I think that fight didn't hurt either one of them. You know, even though Mark Hunt lost, he still showed that he's got that power. He's never had, wrestling or jiu-jitsu or whatever, but he that first round made Curtis Blades change his whole game plan and get him down. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's hilarious. You can see him like he was pretty confident. Mark didn't tag him at all, and then all of a sudden, boom, gets wobbled like, oh shit, I'm gonna go into wrestling mode forever.
I mean, he hit him and it was like, You could just
it didn't actually look like that full wind up that he throws. It was almost like a short right or something like that, you know.
But still, when it hits him, you can just see the and you can see in the hammer going, okay, yeah, we're gonna change.
The highlight of that was when the third round when he just completely like missiled through him, and then he still picks him up, you know.
Dude, to pick up Mark Hunt like that and drop him.
And I vowed that one of these days I was gonna pick our producer Robert up like that.
Oh,
so.
dude.
I'm working on
You
it.
better do some squats.
Dude, Curtis Blades is a freak.
But he showed a lot in that fight.
I want to see him fight. I want to see him get the Ngannou fight again. I want to see how it goes this time.
Oh, yeah.
Because now everybody kind of like, okay, we know what we got to do is just not get hit, and let's see if we can wrestle Ngannou now.
But again, that would get him to close that distance. He's got a much better chance of closing the distance and trying to pound him out than to stand with him and get caught and get his head taken off like, what's his name? You know what I mean? Because if Ngannou hits you like that, that's nights.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nights time. So, but at least those two fights made it worth, going to go see it or whatever, because it did, you kind of got your money's worth on those. The other fights were okay, or whatever, but those two fights got it to the promised land. Go ahead.
The one thing I do like about this whole fight, outside of just what happened, was watching the first round and really getting to watch Mark Hunt work his magic. Yeah. If you really pay attention of the game of inches he plays of that timing and that range before he unloaded, it was amazing to watch. Watch him setting it up the whole time. I'm like, okay, just a little bit out of the way, okay? That's where he's going to stop. This is where I'm going to come in.
As little energy as possible, But that's just experiences back in the Pride days. Remember when you and him were traveling back in the Pride days, he would tell you, dude, I'm going to try not to expend as much energy as possible. So
They're twin brothers.
From experience.
We didn't talk much. We just ate a lot.
Yeah, and then that 11-hour flight, you guys were knocked out. Like the sumo wrestlers. They just eat a whole bunch of and they're out of there. But, well, what do you think? You think he's going to get maybe one more fight and then he'd be done, or what do you think? I think maybe one more fight and he can ride off into the sunset. Dude has nothing to prove. Nothing.
I don't know if it's a prove or if it's just he's got that itch all the time. Just wants to just throw it out. I mean,
and the punishment he's taken is minimal.
No. Mark Hunt's taking. Yeah. No, you got to remember he had that.
He got knocked out really bad by
Verdum.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a knee that caught him, right?
Bigfoot too?
Bigfoot one was on Roy's one time. That
was War of the Gargantulas. That was easily fighting.
Hey, he gets knocked out. He's just.
And then somebody else put him on his back before and pounded him for a while too.
Okay. Well, why don't you call him up and tell him to get on here, man? And we'll talk to him for a little while. Let's get the Ray Cephal Mark Hunt combo, and we'll have Samoano night here at Full Contact Fanatics.
You guys can roast the pig and all that good stuff.
We'll throw the background. We'll throw a Hawaiian background or whatever. Make them feel at home. How about that? See, man, I'm telling you, stick with me, dude. We'll go places.
You got Ray Cephal's number.
I do. We'll give him a call, dude. And I think is Ray Cephal still at Extreme Couture? Do you know?
He's in Vegas. I don't know what.
I talk a lot of smack, but we got to go to Vegas, dude. I'm telling you. You go to Extreme Couture, all those guys are there, and a lot of them are just itching to come on, dude. So
it's a nice place called Treasures there that I've.
Yes, and there's a nice place called Cheetahs that I have yet to have explored. But anyways, we'll see what happens. I think that would be pretty cool. I think those two matchups, if Blades went out there and fought Ngannou again, I think that would be pretty cool.
Now, I thought you meant Treasures and Cheetahs.
Well, that too. Oh. but that's, then I make no money and come home on the losing end. Now Uriah, it was funny because I was watching Uriah Faber against Frankie Edgar last night, and God love Uriah Faber, nicest guy in the world, nice to me the few times that I met him, really nice guy, but just couldn't get that belt. He came at the same time. Jose Aldo was in his prime, or whatever. But, a hell of a fighter, very smart, money-wise and everything like that. He says he will return for one fight for the right price or the right fight. So, price, who knows? But what do you think would be the right fight to bring him out of retirement for one last fight? Robert? Go ahead, Miguel.
Anything that'll just get him straight to that belt.
Okay, so that's he's fighting at 145?
Right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Which is Max Holloway?
Yep.
45? Well, he's done both. 35, too.
35, 145. He's done 55, too, I think.
What about if Demetrius Johnson comes up and meets him at 135? I think he would come out of retirement for that, don't you think?
Maybe.
Now, I don't know how well that would turn out for him, but still, I think that would be enough to get him out of retirement.
Yeah, I mean,
other than that,
I don't want to see that, but yeah.
Other than that, I don't see any other fight for him. He doesn't need it. You know, he's got very smart with his money. He's got, when you own the whole block, not just the house, you own the 4 or 5 houses on the cul-de-sac. Actually, it's 4, and somebody else owns the 5th one or whatever. But
I'm sure he'll buy him out.
Yeah, he doesn't need it. He's actually friends with them, and it's an older couple, very, very nice. When he has his barbecues, he takes some food and all that. So, and then if you're living in a cul-de-sac, and the other 4 are all fighters, I think you can sleep with your doors open.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, somebody gets knocked out if they mess around or whatever. So, Uriah, if you're listening, don't eat it, bro. You're good with what you have. Don't even worry about it. It's cool. He's funny, too, because he don't see some people. Hopefully he doesn't get back to him because he probably doesn't want that. He goes, come on to the barbecue, bro. Come on down. What do you like to eat? He goes, we have all natural food. we can make barbecue chicken. No, man, I don't have to have barbecue chicken. He goes, what do you want, women? We can get you. No, man, I'll just come over. Go ahead.
The one fight I know he would get out, he would do for sure is the Dillashaw fight.
TJ
Oh,
Dillashaw?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
That's the one fight he'll do for sure.
And you know what? I think he'd be super motivated for that fight. So that's a good. See, that's what we have, bro. Estás muy inteligente because he's fish. He very smart.
He smells like it too.
And the mercury of the fish gives him that brain power or whatever.
He smells like it too.
That's why we have you here, Robert, man, because you very smart. So I'm sorry, I'll take that back. Dillashaw, I think he would be pumped, and he would definitely
get
that fight or whatever.
And it would be for a belt or the belt, whatever.
Yes, definitely. Do any of you guys know Tracy Lee? The photographer?
The photographer guy?
That used
Not
to be at all
personally, but...
Well, I know her personally, and she's the one who took us over there to Uriah's house for the barbecue and all that. And quick shout-out to her because she's done a lot for us. She did on the mat to a live broadcast. And Scotty goes, hey, can you get a couple of pictures so we can make the cards for the radio show? And she goes, I gotta get my wide-angle lens. I'll be back.
Wide-angle lens.
I go, oh, and I think
fucked
she goes,
up.
well, no, I'm not saying you're fat, which means she's saying we're fat. She goes, I just got it because I want the picture to come out right. So that was a nice way of saying, well, the 2 big marranos, I'm gonna have to go get the wide-angle lens. So shout out to Tracy Lee, but she was always nice to us. And a quick story. We took Thomas Kenny to WEC out in Las Vegas, and that was the first and last and only time I will ever share a room with him because we took him with us, and then Tracy Lee came, and she knocked on the door, and she says, hey, we're having an after party. We want you to go to Thomas Kenny, and we're standing in the background like, what about us? And she's like, you got to come down, and we're having this, and we're having that. He's like, nah, man. He goes, nah, go, you guys, you go ahead. Don't worry about it. He goes, I'm hanging with my boys, and we're going to go train in the morning and stuff like that. So she goes, okay, well, if you change your mind, whatever, shuts the door, and I'm like, we wanted to go?
Yeah.
He goes, well, how come you didn't say nothing? I'm like, well, you didn't give us, you slammed the door. He goes, well, go see if she's there. Like, she was long gone by then. So
of course.
We missed, because those back then was the big WEC parties, and everybody was there. Eric Apple and Uriah, all those people, so we want to go, and Thomas Kenny blew it for us because he didn't want to go. But anyways, that's
at least he was thoughtful, and
at least he didn't say,
that's
"Hey,
cool.
F you guys, I'm out of here" or whatever.
Here, yeah.
So that was cool with him. But anyways, we're talking about real quick, since we're running up against the clock, don't forget, you're here. You're at Full Contact Fanatics. Don't forget, you can check us out every Monday right here. I got Miguel over to my left. No Dando or nobody over here to the
Still
right.
Still fixing the toilet.
Yeah, they took off or whatever. They're eating out of the taco truck or something. And, of course, got Robert over there taking us in and out. We won't mention Jessica because she doesn't want anybody to mention her, so we won't mention her or whatever. So she's got to do. She's lucky. Because if she would have been, well, I don't know how many times she's been around Dando, but remember that day, dude, we had Biohazard on the speed dial? Dude, he literally stood right there and split his ass, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he thinks it's funny. And I'm like, dude, and we're in an enclosed studio with hot lights or whatever. And
the heater's on.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude. So luckily for you, you came on a day when he had to leave. So you
she's actually been around that and more.
Well,
so.
I can only imagine. Anyways, I like to watch, even though I'm usually asleep by 9 o'clock if I'm lucky on the weekends. I stay up to watch the post-fight show because I like to see Dana White. I like to see what he has to say or whatever. So they were talking to him, and they said, they were talking about a possible matchup of Nate Diaz and Tyrone Woodley. And before they can get Tyrone Woodley, I said, not going to happen. Not going to happen. And they're like, well, isn't that a good – not going to happen. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen. They said, well, can you explain? Because, look, we've offered Nate 5 fights, and he's turned down every one. So he is not getting Woodley or whatever. So I guess they offered him a few fights. He turned them down. He said he'll go ahead and fight Woodley, and Dana said no. Now, give me your thoughts on that, because I think with the way things are right now in the 170-pound division, I think that's a moneymaker. I think who else can draw money like that? We'll take it around the horn. We'll go to Miguel first. What do you think?
I'd make that fight.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's money. I pay to see it.
I pay to see it. Oh, yeah.
I as much as I love Nate Diaz, I don't think he will do that well against Tyrone Woodley. I think Tyrone Woodley is a little bit too much for him. He'll get him to the ground and use his wrestling.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's
whatever.
the only way I would see.
You know what I mean?
Woodley winning.
But still, Nate's either gonna go out on a sword or win.
Yeah.
So it's a no-lose situation for you there. I think Dana's sending him a message like, hey, man, we're going to tell you what you're going to get. You're not just going to come and dictate what you want or whatever. Robert, what do you think?
I think it would be the most money-making fight they have right now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, if UFC wanted to make money right now, that's the fight they want to do. The only problem is, if somehow down the line Conor runs out of money, spends it on 3 yachts, and decides I need to make more, if Nate gets crushed by Woodley or just gets a 5-round unanimous decision, just ran on and just wrestled the whole time, like it's possible, that messes up money in the future. Then there are a lot of people complaining right now about UFC and the credibility of their ranking system's not really working. Contenders are not getting the fights. So I think they're trying to give back a little bit and put Dos Anjos in there.
And like Eric Apple says, it is flooded. It is just flooded with people. We put up the card for Sunday, and what do we know? 3 of the fights or whatever? I mean, I understand you have to have a certain amount. I know they have a contract with Fox Sports 1 to where they have to adhere to a certain amount of fights or whatever. But it's like he said, it's so watered down that, to make – that's why they're making these super fights now, to keep people interested or whatever. I'm sorry. But somebody like Nate Diaz is money. I kind of understand Dana's position, because it's like, I can't let the inmates run the asylum, because then, I'll be all messed up. But this is the money fight, so he's got to walk a fine line, to say, well, I know this will make money, but I just can't let him dictate what he wants to do or whatever. I think he should let him stew for a little bit, whatever, and say, well, we wanted this fight, but whatever. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and make it. And bam, and they do it. Now, I love Nate Diaz. I think Tyrone Woodley be a little too much for him. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Tyron Woodley has a little bit more size, explosiveness, wrestling skills.
Especially if it's at 170.
Yeah, 170, I think.
Dude, yeah.
But there is a game plan for Nate that would work. I mean, Tyrone likes to burst as well. If you guys know Tyron's fights, he bursts. He's similar to Yoel in a way a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Nate can put that pressure on him and run him around the cage and keep him on his back foot and backpedaling. There's ways to hit Tyron, right?
Mm-hmm. And it's the same. It's the same. If he's moving and kind of like Lyoto, when he gets that first burst, steps to the side and boom, hits him with an uppercut or something, he could catch him. And like Mark Hunt, they expend as little energy as possible. They throw a lot of short shots, a lot of jabs, which end up cutting you up, and getting in that way, which is what gets them to the promised land. So it's not like Nate's going in there, like you said, with a game plan or whatever. Without a game plan, he's coming in with the game plan. They're going to have him ready to go. So real quick, a quick public service announcement. Dana White, go ahead and make it, bro. Right here at Full Contact Fanatics. No Dondo, because he's got bowel obstruction
Toilet
problems. But with Miguel, Robert, the producer, and myself, we're going to go ahead and give our blessing. Go ahead and make that fight, dude. I think that'll be a moneymaker. I think that'll get you to the promised land. Are we all in agreement on that?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I'd watch that fight for sure.
Speaking, I think this week, this month or whatever, they've had fights on almost every weekend, right?
Yeah.
So coming up Sunday, Donald Cerrone's going to fight. Oh, now, Yancy Maderos, for some reason I was thinking he was from the Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz camp. Is that where he's from?
He's
trains out there in Stockton?
Well, no,
I
not
think he crossed
and goes over to Sacramento or something.
Yeah, he was at Cesar Gracie for a while. He trains with Nick and Nate and all those guys, but he's back with Max at Gracie Technics with Ryan Lazares and all those guys. Mike.
So what do you think about that fight, man? I mean, to me, Cerrone sometimes it looks like he just is taking that fight to take it, and then sometimes he comes in and looks like a world beater, like unstoppable.
Yep.
But Yancy Maderos, that dude's no joke, man. That dude can fight. So if Cerrone comes in, the Donald Cerrone that's motivated or whatever, he's going to be tough to beat. But if he comes in with what's the word I'm looking for, lackadaisical attitude or whatever, Yancy Maderos will take him out. We'll just take that around the horn. Go ahead, Robert. I could see the wheels spinning. You know, he's thinking, man, when Mark Hunt and I were on the plane, we're just talking about that. Go ahead.
Yes, Cerrone is a known slow starter, right? And Cerrone does have a full bag of tricks. He can take you to the ground. He can wrestle. He can do jiu-jitsu.
Is the opposite, because Maderos tries to throw all his eggs in one basket, like right out the bat.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm born and raised same island he is. He's from the west side, and all those dudes are like all about it. Like, you know what I mean? They
live or die.
No chill. Like it's we're all cool. We're all happy. But once that switch goes, it's just let's go. And just keep going, and
you just rip the shirts off. You're in the trunks. You jump in the water, and that's that.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Robert just pulls his pants down.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's right, Robert.
Commando Central. Do you miss those days, or because out here you can't do that?
I take my flip flops. I put them on my hands.
The Penn State ones.
I told you they're not Penn State.
Dusky ones.
They're not Penn State. They're Thundercats.
Ah, okay.
Well,
Miguel, what about yourself, man? What do you think?
I agree in part. Yeah, with what both you guys said, because
right.
Cerrone, yeah, like when he like you said, when he comes, when he's focused, right? Dude, he's a fucking monster, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like I said about Maderos, I've noticed he just right first round, he's trying to just get it all over with,
coming guns a-blazing.
Yep.
Or whatever. So, hey, but when it's on Fox Sports 1, it's going to be on Sunday, which is cool.
Nice.
It's going to be on a little bit later, like the late afternoon or whatever, which is cool. You know what I mean? I can go get my stuff done in the morning.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Walk the dogs,
get the
do
BBQ,
all that.
get some
bam,
beer.
Yeah, bam, and then we can check it out on Sunday. So that's cool. When they can put them on Sunday, that's cool. Now, we went through the card, and speaking of that, we had to pick and choose with the people that we knew. The one fight that sticks out to all of us is Thiago Alves against Curtis Millender. Now, Curtis Millender's coming in from LFA, right? Now, we talk about
guy too.
We talk about throwing him into the deep end. Throwing him in the deep end against Thiago Alves, who comes from ATT. But same with this guy. Sometimes, he looks like a world beater, and sometimes he comes in, seems like he's mailing it in. If it's a Thiago Alves that's hardcore from back in the day, remember when he fought Brandon Vera, and he was beating him up, and he was playing bongos on his nalgas?
That's Thiago Silva.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mixed. To the Brasilianos, I'm sorry I mixed you all together. But they were both Thiagos.
No,
so
check it out. The one that stands out from Thiago Alves to me is when he completely just beat the, out of Matt Hughes.
Oh yeah.
When he was on those Mexican supplements too.
Yeah, dude, he was all todo garrote like that.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, he was.
He did. So if that Thiago Alves comes, Curtis Millender's in for a big surprise, man. But didn't Curtis Millender win his last fight with a big high kick or something like that and knocked him out?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's always got that in his bag of tricks.
See,
plus he was supposed to be on the show and he didn't show up. We're not gonna hold that against you. We understand, but when we call you, you got to come because we could have pushed you. Go ahead.
The thing with Curtis Millender is I think there's a lot of changes that he's made in the recent, where he went and where he's with now. He's with Paulson, Barnett. He's at CSW, training with our boy.
So
Hansen, but
catch wrestling.
Yeah, but not just that. I think it's the people that's there, and I've heard a lot of good things about the other trainer, Ben.
Yeah.
I heard he was pretty badass too.
So if he made the move over there, will he be fighting in a pair of black Speedos with no socks and some wrestling shoes?
Yeah, I don't know. You got to ask Josh on that one.
We're gonna see. These are the little things that we got to find out. But hey, I think we can all agree. It's free on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, fuck it.
Which is cool, so no problem. We can go. And then maybe we can get to know some of these fighters. You know what I mean? that's why it's important to watch the countdown, because then you kind of see, or the weigh-ins. Because then when you watch the weigh-ins, you go, oh, that's that dude, or whatever. So, real quick, before we get out of here, I feel bad for the ring card girls, because now that they have that stupid where they weigh in the morning or whatever, they're going to be bumming the Sage Northcutt ain't going to take off any clothes. Because I have been doing this for a long time. And those girls are bored stiff. But that Sage Northcutt comes out, and that's the first time I've seen them liven up and go, ooh, God, and they're looking at, hey. And they're like, a la máquina. You know what I mean? They're looking at him. So, hey, props to Sage Northcutt. The guy he's fighting I've never heard of before. So
What's his name?
T-Bolt, Robert or whatever. It's not Jason T-Bolt or whatever, because he's been retired. So, anyways, we look forward to checking that out. Now, before we get out of here, talk to Robert a little bit before we went on there. I definitely want to do a live broadcast with all the fights that are going on with Bellator and LFA and UFC and all that. We got to do one. When we did the live broadcast over at NutriStop, we didn't get a chance to play Chop Trivia. The guys from Bully Zone think that they're, they think that they're cool, for lack of it. So I said, well, let's see. How about we play some Chop Trivia? So they haven't agreed to it yet, but I think, Robert, maybe we can make them an offer that they can't refuse.
We'll coerce them somehow.
Do some Chop Trivia and hit him and show him what real chops are or whatever. People have been asking for it. They've been emailing. They've been messaging. Hey, man, when are you going to do a live show? We want to see that Chop Trivia. So we're definitely going to work on that. Robert, anybody that we might have in contention? I know Danny Kays is on the fence, but anybody else? Downey Brewery or whatever you were talking to?
Yeah. I don't. We will find somebody that'll let us come hang out.
There's Mascara Sports Grill, but then we have to do everything in Spanish, and nobody understands, so they might be out. We'll have
because even at that, some places don't have the fights, others do.
Yeah, and then there's very little room.
Yeah,
and, then everybody's nalgas is in everybody's face. Go ahead.
Venus right next to my house.
Oh, jeez. Well, worst case scenario, we'll have it here. We'll invite some people, and we'll just come over here. So, hey, with all that being said, we appreciate everybody checking us out. Big ups to Ricardo Almeida for coming on. Don't forget, you can check him out. Just put it's spelled with an R, so it's Ricardo if you want to put it in your little search engine, Almeida. Check him out. He keeps everybody up to date on there. If you're in that East Coast, New York area, you want to go check out his Jiu-Jitsu Academy, make sure you just check that out. Because when you got dudes like Half Gracie, Henzo Gracie coming and doing seminars, when you pay your monthly tuition, it's worth it. You know what I mean? Because you got a whole bunch of people coming and guys to train with. So make sure you check them out. And, of course, don't forget, check us out every Monday right here on the Free Admission channel. And as Robert and I were talking, don't forget, it's not just us. Dando and Miguel are working on a Wednesday program. Gym Crashers, I guess it was a little hard for you guys to get
out, yeah.
Well, especially with Robert, because he's got so much going on to get him out there with the camera. So you're now doing some in-studio stuff.
Yep.
Now, will you be taking some people and showing some? I am going to kill these kids that are out here. I swear, I'm gonna put some Wesson cooking oil on those steps, and you're gonna hear them go down one time. You're gonna hear them go down one time, and then you're not gonna hear them again, because through the whole Ricardo Almeida thing, all I heard was them kids. Yeah, it's ridiculous. If that was, let me tell you right now, if that was a Mexican teacher, they'd all be hit with either the fly swatter or a chancla because of running around like that. It would never happen. So, anyways.
Bobby's going to come in with one of those red ties and just start throwing bananas.
Exactly. They're gonna start at the top and they're going to fly through the glass. So, don't forget to check them out. Now, will you be having a show this Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay. Any particular guest, or you don't have them booked?
Jeff Nolasco.
Okay. So where do they check it out?
Same deal, free admission. Yeah, that's it. That's where we're at. That's home base.
Okay, perfect.
We're all under the same banner.
Make sure you check that out. So now we have almost a full line. You got me on Monday. Tuesday is you know what? They changed their name. They're not, was it Duke and Peanut? I'm sorry.
Cease then desist.
Cease and desist now.
Yeah, because they got a letter from WWE.
Oh, is that right? Were they doing too much WWE stuff?
No, they played something.
And that's Angel?
That's a Lunchbox.
Okay.
Dakota.
Which is Angel.
And
Dakota is the producer.
And Mike Yoshie.
Those are the big, because I know sometimes they have Azrael.
Yeah, but the mainstays they're all on our web page is Rudy.
They're starting to expand out to do other other wrestling things and talking about.
Yeah, Vegas. I guess they get people from Vegas coming on, and
okay,
now
so you got
PC.
me on Monday. You got them on Tuesday, the cease and desist hour or whatever, and then you got the
Gym Crashers.
On Wednesday, and then you have the
Tales
show
from
on
the
Thursday.
Pole. Tales from the Pole.
Tales from the Pole on Thursday, and then that's what we got so far.
Yeah, and then you guys got a new show coming tomorrow. It's just for fun. 10 o'clock in the morning. Me and James Dominguez from the Punchline.
What about the Bully Zone guys? They're gonna.
Yeah, Bully Zone are gonna start doing something on Sundays. Okay. Sundays from
and
1
what
to.
What will this entail? You know.
I don't know. I do not know yet. They're working
Bully
on
Zone, it. To get you started, why don't we do Chop Trivia on your show? That'll put you on the map. That'll get you going, right? It'll show their. I mean, because when you have a show here, you have to have some sort of bautizo or whatever to baptize you into the free admission channel. So I think that'll cover it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
And apparently John Delo's supposed to start coming in with us on Monday and giving his take on, jiu-jitsu, and we talk a lot about in the gi, out of the gi, and all that stuff. So he should start coming in. He was talking about doing his own show too, but we don't know for sure. But he should be coming in with us on Mondays.
That's what I heard.
Okay, which will be good because if Dondo, we can keep him at a distance. I mean, sometimes we got to have him on camera, but we can kind of keep him going over there. Maybe with John coming on now, we can have some sort of a GoFundMe to get Dondo a colonoscopy. Because there is something seriously wrong. I'm serious, dude. He needs to go to the doctor and find out what's going on because he's going to explode. One day he sits there and you see he's like those little kids. You'll be talking to him and you'll see him go like this. And I'm like, are you okay? And he'll go, yeah, I'm all right. So we might want to work on that. Robert, as a producer, I think, you might want to work on that. So we'll definitely make sure. Dondo, please, for us,
and if all works well, On the Mattress will be coming soon,
too.
Perfect.
And then we can cover all facets
or triple X
of life.
I'll save that for later.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, Robert, a million thank yous, man, for getting us in and out and for hooking up Ricardo Almeida. Now that we got the phone system down, we definitely got to get Rafael Lovato Jr. on here to talk some jiu-jitsu with him. And there was a couple. Leah Letson was supposed to come on, but she got the call from UFC, and I kind of can see that a lot of times they're like, well, we don't want you to go on too much yet because we got stuff going on for you. We don't want to let too much out. So I actually talked to her, not text, and she said, hey, man, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I definitely want to come on. I just got to make sure it's okay and all that. Because she got, like we're talking about, she's in the Air Force, dude, so she's always in shape. And she got that call. She had an Invicta fight where she was plus 250. Or something, and she high kicked and knocked her opponent out. So they immediately said, "Hey, man, this girl's got something. Let's bring her." And then nice. she got called to active duty somewhere. I can't remember. And she just got back. So they booked her for a fight at USC. So we'll try to see if maybe we can get her on before that fight happens. A lot of people, and we're definitely. I got another 2 pages, Robert, of phone numbers for you, so we can get some people in here and definitely take advantage of that. So with all that being said, hey, man, we appreciate you being here. We'll see everybody here right at this particular desk Monday from 8 to 9. We're going to go till about 9:10 today. We usually go till about 9:15, but I got to get out of here because I got things to do. So we'll check everybody out next Monday. McGill, a million thank yous for coming on. Robert, of course, wouldn't be possible without him. We'll see everybody next Monday. Special thanks to our sponsors, Maria's House of...
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if I'm ever gonna make the UFC. I keep winning everything. They said I was the champ in Bellator, but was too damn boring. Hello, Dana, hear me? I'm in Singapore and dreaming about who I could go and be. Johnny Hendricks and Robbie. I've forgotten how I fought before I learned to move my feet. Hello from the Askren side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for always calling you dumb. Hello from the Askren side.